This is not AI, this is not some sick late April Fool's joke, this is not a wet dream you're currently having. It's fitting that it's Easter weekend because he has risen. Born Again Season 3 set photos have finally started to drop and just revealed major characters making their MCU return. Huge spoilers for Born Again Season 3 from here on out. This is your last chance to turn back, so please don't yell at me if you continue. Got it? Okay, here we go. Mike Colter and Finn Jones are officially returning as Luke Cage and the Immortal Iron Fist, Protector of Kunlun, and Sworn Enemy of the Hand in Daredevil Born Again Season 3. Sweet Christmas, the boys are back in town. You don't understand how long I've waited to say that sentence. But finally, it's happened. After 8 long years of waiting to see them again, my prayers have finally been answered as the Heroes for Hire have made their way back into the MCU. And not just that, but they're there alongside Jessica Jones, all but confirming the Defenders are going to reunite in Born Again Season 3. This is the biggest possible win we ever could have asked for. I am over the moon about this. It's genuinely hilarious that Marvel has to spoil the next season while the previous one is currently airing, but if that's what it takes to get yearly Daredevil seasons filmed on real locations, I will happily take it every single day. This is for all my Netflix Marvel fans who suffered through a near decade-long drought. We have finally made it back up. The street-level side of the MCU is thriving now more than ever, with Spider-Man, Daredevil, Punisher, and now the Defenders all back together. I genuinely can't believe it's real. When those first set photos started to drop, it was the most surreal thing ever. I never thought this day would come. Now what do I have to do to get my favorite street-level purple archer working alongside them? It's honestly very poetic that when Born Again Season 3 drops in 2027, which I'm still not convinced is a real year, it'll have been 10 years since the Defenders released and we saw them together for the first and only time. It's funny how that all works out, but it's basically destiny. I genuinely can't stop staring at this photo. They're just casually back like it's nothing. Incredible bit that Mike, standing at 6 feet 3 inches, is trying to hide himself while Finn Jones is just flashing his face to the world. And you know what? Good for him. He deserves to flex this return to everybody who celebrated when Iron Fist got cancelled. We are now one step closer to finally getting my dream Heroes for Hire series, so at this rate, I expect it to be announced within the hour, Marvel. What are you waiting for? They're already back. You might as well go all the way with it. Showrunner Dario Scotopani and Marvel head of television Brad Winderbaum, we pour in all the honey in the world on you. They are goated for making this happen. Aw man, if you can't tell, this is the best thing to ever happen to me, but now that I've got all the glazing out of the way, I want to break down this image and overanalyze it to try and figure out how each one of them is back and their role in the season. It has been a while since we last saw them, so I want to try and connect those dots and make a ton of predictions that definitely won't come true. Let's start with Luke Cage, because I figured this would happen eventually. Mike Colter has been teasing this for years, even recently saying he's had talks to come back. I just didn't expect it to be this soon, but we are all so much better off because of it. We often talk about how great Charlie Cox or Kristen Ritter are in their respective casting, but we do not give enough credit for Mike Colter. I truly believe he is perfect casting for a modern interpretation of Luke Cage. Besides the fact that he's a spitting image of the character, he just nails that cool, calm, collected, and stoic nature that Luke Cage has to offer. Especially when he's interacting with other heroes, that chemistry is so natural. What's so interesting about Luke's return specifically, though, is that he got more set photos than anybody else, including 2 different looks we're gonna be seeing him rocking. And let me tell you, he's got that shit on. His drip game is still immaculate. You truly don't understand how happy I am that he's not wearing that gray sweatshirt anymore. Oh my god, that was such a cop-out to have him wear that because they were too scared to give him his comic outfit of a yellow t-shirt. It's the easiest costume of all time, and they still covered— I'm getting too heated about this, but the Netflix costume design pissed me off. Having him dressed like this off the bat is going to heal me as a person. The first round of pictures had him in the suit we saw at the very end of Luke Cage Season 2, which tells us a lot because it means Luke is still running Harlem's Paradise. That was a huge relief to me because I'm still mad we never got Luke Cage Season 3. That ending cliffhanger was insane, and then they just took it away from us. I would have loved to watch an entire season of Luke trying his best to not let this system corrupt him as he takes power. They left so much on the table there, so to know that the MCU is picking up right where they left off is the best news we could have heard. But it's this second round of pictures I'm most interested in. Not only does he have the Sanford green suit on from the comics, which is an incredible look that he actually wore when he became mayor of New York City, but he's getting an alley fight scene choreographed by Philip Silvera, the stunt choreographer for every season of Daredevil, including Born Again Season 2. The fact that we're gonna get a Luke Cage fight scene with an MCU budget and Philip Silvera choreography is the coolest thing ever. And we're not gonna have to wait long to see it either, considering how early into the season this filming is happening. I know I use hyperbole a lot, but that has the potential to be one of the best action scenes in the entire MCU if we just get to see Luke throwing hands in a full suit and mowing through people in an alleyway. We need to prepare for peak. Now, I can't prove this, but I do have a theory that we're going to see Luke Cage at the end of Season 2. Considering the fact that Season 2 is going to be the reintroduction of Jessica Jones, it just makes sense to bring Luke Cage in as well, considering they have that connection together. I really just want to see Luke and Jessica get back together again. They're such a fun couple in the comics, along with the fact that Mike and Kristen have incredible chemistry together, and you cannot let that go to waste. For as much as I do want them to follow up on that whole King of Harlem plotline, I still want these characters to have changed in the meantime. They shouldn't just be static. And a good way to show that they've grown in that period is to have Luke and Jessica get together again. It hurts me too much to think about how long it's been since we've seen them in continuity, but it's been a while, so you could easily just say Luke and Jessica finally got back together and maybe even had their daughter Dani together. I think that could be a really easy way to write Luke out of the show if you just have him go protect her somewhere else while Jessica does all the heavy lifting in Matt's army. And then eventually, once Luke makes sure his daughter is protected and safe, he can come back to join the fray in the big finale fight scene. Don't lie to me here. You know you want to see Luke Cage and the Kingpin throw hands. That would be surreal to see in live action. Matt could really just use a walking bullet sponge on his army though. Hell of a lot more useful than Cherry. You shoot him, he's done. It could be really interesting too if we come back to that whole King of Harlem plotline and Luke is using his resources to help fight Fisk in his own way. Basically fighting fire with fire as two criminal empires, one underground and one running the judicial system, fight each other. It would be incredibly poetic if the thing that finally takes down the Kingpin is the same thing he used to rise to power in the first place. If you don't go that route though, do you know how exciting it would be if Luke Cage ran for mayor against Wilson Fisk and that was how he got out of office? I know there are some other set photos that contradict that, along with Brand New Day confirming that's the direction they're going, but god do I want to see Luke Cage become the mayor of New York more than anything right now. I'll just stop being greedy and be glad he's actually back in the first place and pray he makes that appearance in Born Again Season 2. But here's the thing. Iron Fist, on the other hand, it makes sense he isn't there for Born Again. The last we saw Danny Rand, for those who weren't part of the 7 people who actually watched Iron Fist Season 2, he was learning the Iron Glock in Japan. He's not like these other characters, like Luke Cage, who's constantly in Harlem, or Spider-Man's bum-ass protecting all of New York, except for Hell's Kitchen, apparently. He's currently on a global excursion, so I get why he wouldn't be there right away. You can just say he's still out there doing that, and they couldn't get in contact with him. Or, better yet, the gateway to Kunlun only appears every 15 years, so I don't know how the timeline works out, and frankly, I don't think I ever want to, but let's just say he went back there to train his chi or something. It's the most natural excuse for him to not be there right away, and builds off that ending perfectly. I will be very excited though to see Danny's reaction to 1, everything over the last 15 years that he missed, and 2, the fact that the hand is back. That's gonna be gold, especially if they play a role in Born Again Season 3, which could be how he gets roped into the story. Colleen Wing, on the other hand though, she should have been there since the start. She is the active Iron Fist in New York after all, so I do hope we get to see Jessica back as well, but I'm just so glad Finn Jones is finally getting this second chance. All you Iron Fist haters can kick rocks all the way to bald hell. He deserves this redemption arc. I'm the first guy to admit that Season 1 of Iron Fist is an undisputed train wreck. I can count on one hand all the things I like about that first season, like, Jessica Henwick, that's it. Jessica. It's just Jessica. But that's only because the showrunner is a notorious penny pincher who turned the show about the coolest martial arts character into one about corporate sabotage. They didn't even show the f***ing dragon! How are you gonna make an Iron Fist origin story and not show him plunging his hand into the heart of a dragon? That's like making a Spider-Man origin movie and not showing the spider bite, but instead it's a dragon! Oh god, man, that first season really disappointed me, but they didn't give Finn Jones any good material or time to rehearse the choreography there or in the Defenders. They turned him into a whiny, entitled, underpowered geek. But thankfully, Iron Fist Season 2 fixed that. They calmed him down and made him feel more like a proper martial artist. It's in the team-up episode with Luke Cage, though, where we really got a proper Iron Fist adaptation, and Finn Jones proved that he has the juice. He was much more zen, lighthearted, and optimistic, giving us the Danny Rand adaptation I had yearned for, as Finn showed he has what it takes. So I am beyond happy that he finally gets to right that wrong and has an opportunity to show the world he was meant to play Danny Rand. That first season really tanked his entire career, and you can tell that he's wanted a proper chance with good material to chew on, so this is the best opportunity yet. All I ask is that you actually give him a good Iron Fist costume. This can't be the only time we saw him wearing that mask in live action. I don't care if you go with that tracksuit to match the Sanford green art that Luke Cage has, or the more traditional look with the slutty v-neck and the popped collar. Whatever it is, just give him the mask and some bright colors already. As for how he's going to fit into Season 3 though, I am extremely confident about this theory. Notice that in all these set photos, Charlie Cox isn't there. In fact, he's not been seen in any set photos, and Born Again has been shooting for weeks now. At a certain point, you gotta wonder, why isn't the man outside? And I think that's for a good reason, because Matt Murdock is getting his ass arrested and sent to prison. Not only has Charlie been shooting with the full beard, which you only grow out for prison, but he confirmed the other day that he shot an action scene without wearing Matt Murdock's glasses or the mask. Where's a place where he's not gonna have his glasses or a mask? How I think Born Again Season 2 is going to end right now is that after Vanessa dies in the most gruesome way possible, Fisk won't have any reason not to, and he will finally reveal Matt's identity to the world as he gets sent to prison, and they adapt a comic called The Devil in Cell Block D. It's a great story that I bought a physical copy of recently, and it ties this whole thing together because, in that comic, Iron Fist becomes the new Daredevil in the meantime to try and convince the world that Matt Murdock and Daredevil are separate people. And if that doesn't write itself, I don't know what does. The ending of The Defenders teased that idea, but Matt decided to come back to life way too quickly. This is how they have that chance to finally pay that off, as maybe Danny leaves Kunlun and finds out Matt went to prison, so he returns to the city to fulfill his promise. It's that easy. And, considering that they're adapting Devil in Cell Block D, they have to adapt The Secret Life of Foggy Nelson and reveal that Foggy is alive! Foggy's return plays a huge role in that story, so here's how we get him back. I'm not flinching no matter what the cast says. Okay, sorry. I'm getting a little bit too delusional now, but I'm very confident Iron Fist is going to take over as the new Daredevil in Matt's absence. Also, I know this video is about Luke Cage and Iron Fist returning, but it feels wrong to ignore Kristen Ritter, especially when she looks like that on set, so, I mean, I just gotta appreciate how timeless she is. These two photos are over a decade apart, and she somehow looks younger in 2026. What is her secret? Before we got the confirmation that the Defenders would reunite, I genuinely thought Jessica would only be back for Season 2, and then they'd announce a Jessica Jones special presentation, so I think it's really cool we're getting her back as well. I cannot wait to see what role she plays in the season. The only way she could possibly look better is standing side by side with Luke Cage and Iron Fist as the Defenders finally reunite to save Matt Murdock and get him out of prison. If we get anything even remotely close to that, I'm going to ascend to the heavens. That sounds like a perfect season of television. Man, Surreal doesn't even begin to describe how cool it is to finally get these two characters back. I vividly remember being in the trenches as a Netflix Marvel defender wanting to see these characters cross over with the wider MCU, and now we're here where they're being introduced in another season of Daredevil, and that is finally a possibility. That Born Again overhaul is turning into the best decision Marvel Studios has ever made. I'm so glad they have fully canonized the Netflix shows and brought all these characters back, but I mean, why stop there? There's so many more characters we need to bring back now. Like, Elektra seems perfect if you're doing hand stuff. That sounds so much weirder than it should have, but we need Colleen Wing too. Misty Knight while we're at it. Claire Temple. Foggy. I still want Foggy back. Hell, bring Turk back. And while we're talking about TV show characters, give me the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Give me Cloak. Give me Dagger. I don't care. I want them all back. I'll take Ward Meacham. I just need every last one of them. I'm sorry, I'm yelling way too much. I'm just gonna go ahead and end the video there. Why don't you let me know down below what you think about Luke Cage and Iron Fist making their MCU return? I would genuinely love to hear what everyone has to say and continue the conversation down below. And while you're at it, make sure to give this video a like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. If you don't do it, I'm gonna plunge my hand into the heart of a dragon and knock you out with the Iron Fist. In like 15 years after I get out of Kunlun. But just subscribe, okay?